Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another New Anglia Growth Hub webinar in association with Barclays. This webinar is being recorded on Wednesday, the 29th of March, 2017. My name's Alan Cowie from the New Anglia Growth Hub. We provide free support for businesses in Norfolk and Suffolk. It's government funded. Why do you need to know that? You need to know it because it means that the service is made available for free to you, and it means that we are impartial. In other words, we're not here to sell you anything. Today's webinar is called Grow, Export, Save. You get 3 in 1 as we look at 3 EU-funded business support programs. So I'm going to run through, first of all, the micro grant scheme. We've got Ashley on the line from the Department for International Trade. Hello, Ashley.
Hello.
And then Ollie is joining me in the Salubrious Growth Hub studio to talk about something called Be Anglia. Hello, Ollie.
Hello.
Okay, so first of all, the reason the thing that these 3 business support programs have in common is that they are all funded by something called the European Regional Development Fund. That is your money raised through taxes along with the other member states of the EU, and whilst we are still fully paid up members of the EU, we're still entitled to the benefits that membership brings. So this money is available. It's in UK bank accounts and it's ready to be spent on businesses that fit the criteria for these grants to help them to expand and to grow. So first of all, I'm going to tell you what the micro grant scheme is. And first thing to say is that it is a grant. That is money that you don't pay back. It's a grant of between £1,000 and £10,000, and it's at a 20% contribution rate. Most grants will only pay a portion of a particular project. It's rare that they'll pay 100% of the costs, but in this situation, it's about an 80-20 split. So the business needs to source most of the remaining funding, the 80%. The grant value is 20%. So just as an example, you're spending, say, £20,000. Obviously, fag packet maths here, but 20 grand. The grant value would be £4,000. So these grants are really just to help you over the line, to help you to reinvest, perhaps incentivize you to reinvest where you might have been thinking about something that's been on the back burner for a while. Well, this might just help you over the line when it comes to the finance. It also says that some areas qualify for an uplift to 30%. Those are parts of Ipswich and Lowestoft, Great Yarmouth, but you can ask us if your area would fall into that. So why would you be interested in this? Well, you might need to buy things which will help to improve your business. That 20% contribution might help with the finance, and it might relieve some of the strain on the cash in your business, and ultimately that might speed up your plans. So the question I would ask you is, what's on your shopping list? Well, you might need to buy capital items. What are these? These are items which, after you've bought them, become fixed assets in the business and they appear on the balance sheet. In other words, things that you can put a sticker on. That includes plant and machinery, equipment, furniture, tools, premises and commercial vehicles. That's not an exhaustive list, by the way, but just to give you an idea of the sorts of capital items which you could be buying. We can also include some revenue items. These are items which are expensed immediately, the things that normally you cannot resell. So, for example, attendance at a trade show, some software development, in some cases website development, and we can also include consultancy fees. So these are items which you can't necessarily see, but still have a value. The items which we can't cover are the business as usual costs. So these are things like wages, stock, raw materials, rent, utility bills, or regular spend such as your regular advertising or regular marketing activities. So we can't cover those, but we can the capital items and other revenue items as well. So what we need to do first of all is to assess whether or not the business is eligible. If the business is eligible, is your plan or your proposal eligible? So first of all, some of the basic rules. Yes, you do need to be trading. We need to see a minimum really of 6 months trading history. For businesses that are about to start or in the early stages, there is subsidised and free support available elsewhere from a variety of other sources, but there's generally speaking very little grant support in terms of actual cash. The government have put money into the startup loan scheme. That's their preferred method of supporting startup businesses, and that's a personal loan at a fixed 6% APR, so it is a lower rate, but that is a loan, and that one does need to be repaid. So yes, you need to be trading to qualify for micro grants. You could be a sole trader. If you're a sole trader, you just need to be registered with HMRC, or if you're a limited company, you'd then be filed at Companies House. Could also be a CIC, a community interest company, or a charity, provided you're registered with the Charities Commission. All grants are prospective. What does that mean? It means that it's something that's coming up, it's going forward in time. We can't claim for anything that you've already bought, already committed to buy. And I think that makes sense, really, because if you're committed to buy or have bought something, you've then demonstrated that you don't actually need the grant. And of course, that's the whole point of grants, is that it's to help satisfy a need and to help something to happen which otherwise wouldn't happen without the grant. So it has to be going forward in time. Can't claim retrospectively. The grant is actually probably the wrong word. It really is a cashback, because you need to pay up front what the thing that you're buying. Once you've bought it, you can then submit your receipt, and then that cash is actually then returned to you after you've bought it. So the grant's paid in arrears, you have the full amount ready, you buy it, it's then returned to you afterwards. So really cashback is probably a more accurate word for this particular grant. And then we come on to sectors. Now, most sectors are eligible, but not all of them, unfortunately, and the ones that are not, generally speaking, are sectors which receive sources of funding from other places, such as farming, fishing, healthcare, education. Those sorts of industries will receive other support from other organisations. Retail, unfortunately, is also excluded under this particular grant. What sectors are eligible? Well, manufacturing and engineering is a popular one. Wholesale, so where you're selling business to business. Energy sector and supply chain businesses. ICT, service businesses, tourism, accommodation, all of those are eligible sectors. But really the best thing to do is just pick up the phone and just ask us. So once we've established whether the business is eligible, we just need to understand whether your project is eligible, or proposal, or plan, or whatever you want to call it. And to understand that, we have to tick one of those boxes that you can see on the screen. So to qualify, it says there you just need to be doing just one of those things. You could be doing them all, and that's great, but we just need to see one. So increasing production. If you're a manufacturer, you're making more things. If you're a service business, you're offering more services. That really is linked to turnover. If you're making more, you're hopefully going to be selling more, and then you're increasing your turnover. The next one is really linked to cost of sales, because this is about increasing efficiency. So we're talking about saving time here, or we could be saving some actual costs. So that's reducing your cost of sales, hopefully increasing profitability. The next one is bringing a new product or a new service to market. Doesn't have to be new to the whole world, in terms of the true sense of innovation, but certainly new to the business. So you're selling something which you couldn't before, or offering a new service which you weren't offering before. So that's the third one. And the last one is creation of jobs. Not required for this, but it could be one of those 4 things. And finally, just to say that we're here to help. We're real people, and you can talk to us and ask us your questions. We'll help you with the forms. You might ask us, what does that mean on the form? What are they looking for here? And we can help you to complete it. And then crucially, I'd say the last thing is that we're also here to provide you with additional business support. You might call us in to talk about this particular scheme, but actually we might find that there's lots of other things that we could do to help you with. So if you want to ask us any questions, then get on the phone. We're on 0300 333 6536. You can email us, growthhub@newanglia.co.uk, or tweet us at AngliaHub. So I will be quiet now and would like to welcome Ashley to talk about Get Exporting Too. It's over to you, Ashley.
Thank you very much, Alan. My name is Ashley Armand, and I'm an international trade advisor for the Department for International Trade. I work with companies, exporting companies throughout Norfolk and Suffolk. and we've recently been very pleased to introduce a new product into our services portfolio called Get Exporting 2. This is an ERDF, a European Regional Development Fund program, and its aim is to help companies to either begin selling overseas for the first time or to expand internationally through new markets, through the development of new markets. Eligible companies for the program will need to either be innovative and have an innovative product or service that they haven't yet marketed either in the UK or overseas, or be looking to increase their employment in the region. There are a number of different features to the program. Fundamentally, it offers help and advice and support from us, the International Trade Advice team, and we do that through an initial export health check. So what we do is we sit down and we look at your existing export plans, what you're going to do in terms of your market entry, how you already market the business. If you do it overseas, what are you doing overseas, or what do you plan to do? Whether you have enough financial backing in order to make that entry into that new market. And we also cover things like IP, intellectual property, and what sort of protection you have in your business. Thereafter, we sit with you and we develop an export action plan, which we review regularly. You can be on the program for as little or as long as you wish. So we are running that program right up until mid-year 2019. So some of my companies are signing on to the program looking to be with me for the next 2 years. Others have a plan that they want to roll out within the next 12 months. Some may have ideas that they want to complete within that year. So it's really down to us as advisors and you as the customer and the company that's benefiting from the program to agree the timescales. One of the big attractions into this program is that we have some financial support available to help you to achieve your export objectives. So once we've drafted an action plan with you, we can cost out some of those activities, and when we can then allocate some funding. At the moment, we have up to £3,000 available for agreed export objectives, and that is 50% match funded. So to give you an example, if you wanted to spend £3,000 on a specific activity, we can fund £1,500 worth of that project. Eligible expenditure can include things like, and this is not an exhaustive list, but it can cover areas like consultancy to help roll out your export strategy, mentoring and consultancy for language and cultural awareness, professional training in languages, cost of travelling to a target country and the cost of your travel and accommodation in market, entrance and participation in exhibitions and trade shows, and that can include exhibitions and trade shows in the UK if you can demonstrate you're going to meet overseas customers and buyers there. You can also use it to fund the internationalisation of your website, translations, the creation of social media profiles, marketing literature that helps you with entering into that specific target market. And there's a whole range of other expenditures that might be eligible. It's really just a question of working with your trade advisor to agree on what that expenditure might be. In addition, we're also running a series of events and workshops and masterclasses for companies solely on this program. So once you're on it, you get dedicated activities which are tailored to you and your needs, and we're rolling out a program of those that should be starting from April. These will have an international trade related theme, and they could be on things like exhibiting overseas, doing business in the USA, French for beginners, and so on and so forth. Additionally, and this is something that we also haven't been able to offer before, the program allows you to benefit from what we call an interim export manager. So some of my colleagues will be able to come into your business for a period of time, normally I think it's about 4 to 6 weeks, and help roll out an international trade related project. So for example, they could help you conduct some basic market research. They will work with you in your business and off-site as well, but they will be there to support you fully as you start to implement your export strategy. And this is not something that we've been able to offer before, so it's a really fantastic opportunity to work with someone who has real experience of developing export markets overseas. They can often speak numerous overseas languages, but most importantly, they have the experience and they'll be dedicated to work with you while you develop your export objectives. We also have a monthly newsletter, which obviously you don't have to be part of the ERDF program to receive, but it's a great way of finding out what the events are that are under this program, as well as other activities that we're running for our exporters in the region. So if you are interested in participating in this program, either speak to your international trade advisor if you're already working with the Department for International Trade, or you can call our customer services team. Their telephone number is 01707 398 398. That's 01707 398 398. Or you can email them on eastinfo@mobile.trade.gov.uk. That's eastinfo@mobile.trade.gov.uk. That's all from me. Thanks, Alan. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Ashley. And last but not least, we have Ollie Taylor, who's going to tell you how you can save some money.
Right, thank you, Alan. Hello, my name is Ollie Taylor, and I'm an energy advisor for the Business Energy Efficiency Angler Program, or B-Angler for short. The B-Angler program has been set up by Groundwork alongside Suffolk and Norfolk County Councils. The program is aimed at providing grant-funded, focused support to small and medium-sized enterprises in the Suffolk and Norfolk regions. As the name suggests, the focus of the program is addressing energy efficiency within the business. So obviously, how does the program aim to achieve this? The B-Angler program is split into 3 main offerings, which obviously highlighted on this slide. These are the energy review, access to an energy efficiency grant, and the free access to support of the Carbon Charter. I will talk about these offerings in more detail later on in my presentation. Okay, to date, the B-Angler program has carried out 220 reviews, identified potential savings of £1,644,352, which basically equates to £7,474 per business. So obviously the term SME covers a large range of businesses, sizes and consumptions. And we've been lucky to work with businesses with annual energy spends of 5,000 and those with annual energy spends of 500,000. Normally, we're currently finding that businesses are able to identify energy saving measures to reduce their bills by around 10 to 30%. Of these energy saving measures, I mean, they range from the more obvious unknown sort of LED retrofit projects to more bespoke sort of heat recovery systems on new compressors. So with regard to eligibility, here's a quick short list of sort of eligible sectors. So there's manufacturing, wholesale, automotive engineering, accommodation, food services, logistics and transport. Obviously there are other sectors we can work with. For example, sort of commercial office space lets and sort of service industries as well. There are a number of criteria that obviously have to be ticked off, as obviously is ERDF money. So with our program, for example, the business must be located in Suffolk and Norfolk, have less than 250 full-time equivalent employees, either have an annual turnover less than 50 million euros or an annual balance sheet of less than 43 million. And obviously, there are certain sectors which are not eligible. For example, sectors like agriculture, primary production, statutory health. These are a number of sectors which aren't eligible for the B program in its entirety. But obviously, any sort of questions issues you may have, by all means get in touch, which obviously the contact details will be on later on. So the first part of the offering is the free energy review. So an energy advisor will pop over to your property and to carry out an audit on how your business is currently using its energy. We feel that the audit provides a sort of fantastic opportunity to have a one-to-one discussion on energy efficiency and any ideas you may have for your business for this. Once the audit is complete, a report is created and provided to your business, which provides a visual representation on how your business is currently using your energy on site. I mean, for example, the report may highlight that 4% of your total electricity is spent on your lighting systems. Within the report will also be a number of energy-saving actions, which we would have been highlighted during the audits, and also during the actual write-up of the report itself. I mean, sometimes certain sort of energy-saving ideas and sort of ideas will only really be realised once the numbers are presented visually. Obviously, that's what this capture and visualization of sort of energy data will also allow to identify sort of patterns and trends, which again can help with the business going forward. It's also important to note that once the report has been issued, the business is still entitled to another 4 hours of remote support. So it may be that certain issues brought up in the report, certain ideas may require a bit more sort of time dedicated to them, to exploring the sort of ideas and sort of, ways around it. So there is obviously more support available to cover this. The second part of the program is access to an energy efficiency grant. So the grant itself is obviously here to help for energy efficiency schemes. For example, to give you an idea of those, at the moment we've been involved with LED retrofits, heat recovery for refrigeration compressors, air source heat pumps, telematic systems for fleets, and solar panels, to name but a few. Basically, as long as we can sort of quantify strong carbon savings from a potential project, there is good scope that we can obviously issue the grant to help with this. So the grant itself has a 28% intervention rate with a maximum provision of £20,000. So if you were to sort of maximise that grant, you'd have to have a project value of, say, £70,000 for that. It's quite important to note that the retail sector, though we can support them via the audit process and the charge later on, the retail is not eligible for the grant funding. However, we can potentially advise on other sort of grant funding streams to help with the retail sector. Right, so the third and final offering is free access and support to the Carbon Charter. The Carbon Charter is an accreditation scheme for businesses in Norfolk and Suffolk. The Carbon Charter aims to provide recognition of a business efforts in improving their energy and environmental efficiency. I mean, depending upon the level of commitment and sort of the results, a business can be awarded bronze, silver or gold certifications. Currently at the moment there are around 350 businesses in Suffolk and Norfolk who hold the Carbon Charter. The Be Angler programme will hopefully see this number boosted by another 500 members. I mean, it's our feeling that as the brand grows, so will the significance of holding the Carbon Charter. I mean, obviously research suggests that more consumers now consider environmental factors as a significant influence in their buying decisions. We hope that the Carbon Charter can provide a mark of confidence to these sort of levels of consumers. Another key point of the Carbon Charter is the process and skills it provides to business. I mean, other environmental accreditations such as ISO 14001 and PAS 99 require a significant undertaking and resource from the business to achieve them. I mean, we find that this often makes them quite inaccessible for the sort of smaller businesses. The Carbon Charter, however, provides a more accessible environmental accreditation option. Also, in my opinion, that the skills and the processes set up within the business during the Carbon Charter process will hopefully go towards putting the business in a much stronger position to go forward and take on the processes of ISO 14001 and PAS 99. So also sort of the key skills and the key sort of monitoring requirements of the Carbon Charter do go hand in hand with some of the criteria of the ISOs and the PAS accreditations. So as you can see, the quick map basically divides up the Norfolk and Suffolk counties into different areas which are covered by individual advisors, and obviously these are the areas we cover. By all means, obviously, any queries and sort of questions you have, get in touch. Ooh, I haven't got the number. Get in touch with our main line number, which is 01473 350 370. Obviously, get put through the main team here in Ipswich, and obviously we'll be able to deal with any inquiries and questions you have, and then take down the details and pass you on to the relevant advisor who can then take you further down the Be Angler programme. Right, so thank you very much, and I'll pass it back to Alan.
Okay, thank you, Ollie, and my thanks to Ashley as well. So you've heard 3 different programs there. You've got the contact details, but in truth, you can really ask any of us because we all work very closely together and can put you in touch with the right person. So we hope to hear from you very soon, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye.